Hi, welcome back to Boxers Lights. In this episode I wanted to present to you something new. This is a Kickstarter game called Hunter's Guild, and I've picked up a beta deck from the designer and wanted to present the game to you and show you how it works. As I shoot this, remember this is a beta, so I've just printed these files out from PDF files myself, so nowhere near production quality. This is a card game for 2 to 4 players, and the components are 100 day cards, 100 night cards, 20-sided dice, and there's 4 hunter cards. In this game you play the role of a vampire hunter, members of the Hunter's Guild. These are just 2 of the roles you can take. There's going to be 4 hunter cards planned currently for the final production game, and the hunter's role is to hunt down and kill the ancient vampire lord. There's a couple of unique selling points to this game, and this is the things that drew my attention to it. The first is that there's no tokens or hit points or counters or anything like that. It's just a whole big deck of cards and 1d20. But each of your characters or bad guys in this game have health gems printed on the card. So you start with 4 health gems, and as you take a hit, instead of using counters or anything else, you rotate the card. So this takes you down from 4 to 3 health gems. And every hit is 1 turn anti-clockwise. 2 health gems, 1 health gem, and then you're dead. Okay, and this is great. It works for the heroes, and it works for the bad guys too. So this is quite a portable game. You stick it in your pocket, off you go. The second USP on this game is that you're a hunter, you're a vampire hunter, but if you're not prepared and you don't have all the weapons you need to take down that vampire, you could get bitten and you could get infected, and you could then get turned into a vampire yourself. So this is the reverse side of the card. There's some benefits from being an infected vampire. Your attacks become stronger, but you're going to suffer during the day phase of the turn because you can't go out in the sunlight without taking some sun damage. The best thing for me to do now, I think, is set up a game and show you how it works. To start playing the game, all you do is give each player one of these hunter's cards. There's an optional rule where you can add a special class to your hunter. So for example, we've got Thief here, which gives your hunter some different abilities when he's playing regular, and then if he becomes infected, he kind of takes a penalty instead. And another one here is Ranger. So with Ranger, you get an increased hand limit. And one of the effects that comes out during night is infective on you. But then when he becomes infected, he actually has a lower hand limit than normal. So those are kind of optional rules that you can add classes to your hunters. But let's set up a 2-player game. So I'll set up another hunter here, and she's going to use, if you're someone who likes a little bit more theme around your cards, there is a Hunter's Guild playmat that you can add as an extra when you're backing this project. I'll add the artwork that Rol's put together for this one. The coins here and the wooden table. Hunter's Guild. Actually, the game as a whole has a subtitle. It's Hunter's Guild Vampire Forest. So I think Rob's got some ideas on expansions already. And this playmat will get you off and running with the rules a little bit easier. So there's a spot here for the hunter, and every hunter can be equipped with a shield, a piece of armour, and a weapon. For the start of the game, you're going to shuffle these 2 decks. There's the day deck and the night deck, and each one of these consists of 100 cards. The aim of the game, as you know, is to hunt down and kill this vampire lord, and he's going to appear in this night deck here. And within this night deck there's 12 Vampire Lord cards, and you're trying to find one of these 12 and kill the Vampire Lord. But there's going to be a whole other ton of stuff happening during those night phases, because The other 88 cards are creatures that you can fight, events that occur, things that hinder your progress. The only way to kill the Vampire Lord is to find 4 artifacts from this deck, the day deck. And only once you've found the cross, the garlic, the holy water and the hammer and stake can you kill the Vampire Lord. But also within the day deck there's a whole host of other things that can help you on your quest. And those can be event cards, or they could be shield, some armour or weapons that'll help you slay the evil creatures of the Vampire Forest. Each player is going to begin by drawing 4 cards to give themselves a starting hand. So we'll draw 4 cards for her from the day deck. And draw 4 cards for him. I'm going to make things simple for us as viewers by just showing you the game from the perspective of our first player here, the girl hero. Basically it's going to be a race. And there's going to be some interaction between players, 2, 3, 4 players. But all the while it's a race. Whoever's going to kill the vampire first is going to be the winner. So what can you do on your turn? Each game round is divided into 2 phases, a day phase and a night phase. The first thing you're going to do on your turn is draw 1 card from the day deck. We get a Paladin Sword. And already I think our hunter's off to a good start. During the day phase now you can play any number of your cards. After the day phase we move into the night phase. During the night phase you can play none of your items here, so you've got to do it now. This is an action card that we can use to boost our attacks. So we're not going to play that now. We only attack things when we're fighting, and that's when we're encountering creatures during the night. And this is also an action card. Remember, these are betas, so some of them don't have artwork on just yet. And some of the artwork is kind of not final. But during the day then you can play any number of cards. So we'll start by playing this wooden shield, and we'll place it with the maximum number of health gems pointing upwards. Our hunter's now equipped with a shield. We've also got some armour here, some scale armour, and that's pretty good. So we're going to equip that as well. And we've also got a weapon. We'll equip that as well. And that'll do, that's our day phase over. Day phase now turns to our second player. Once all players have completed their day phase, the next thing we'll do is move into the night phase. During the night, all you do is draw 1 card from the night deck. And we have a Widowmaker. This is a creature card. She starts in the same orientation as our hunter here, with the 4 health gems in the 12 o'clock position. And now we've got to fight this thing. And at this point we might be looking in our hand to see if there's any cards that we can use. At this point there's not, as it goes. So we're going to have to engage in combat with this Widowmaker. And all we need for combat is our 20-sided dice. This Widowmaker is level 14. And what that means is we need to roll a 14 or higher to inflict 1 wound. But as it goes, I've got a weapon, this Paladin Sword, equipped. And that'll give my dice roll a +3 bonus. So I don't need 14 or higher, I need 11 or higher because of the sword. And also, this sword does 1 extra damage. So I'm not just going to do 1 damage if I hit, I'm actually going to do 2 damage. Let's roll our dice to see how we do. Dreadfully. I've rolled a 1, so I don't think there's much I can do to improve that up to a 14. And if you miss the forest creature, then they do 1 wound, and it's always 1 wound to us. Now at this point I've got 3 choices. I can take the wound on my hero, and it's always an anti-clockwise rotation to put my health gems down to 3. Or, and this is where your shields and your armours become useful, I could take the hit on my shield or on my armour. So I'm going to choose to take that hit on my wooden shield. So it's 1 anti-clockwise rotation of my shield. Now you notice this wooden shield's not terribly great. It only starts with two hits, so I'm down to 1 already on my shield. If I rotate it the full way down to 0, then my shield is destroyed and I discard it. Okay, let's roll again. This is a fight to the death, so we have to just keep going now. Alright, I got a 15. 15 plus 3 from my sword is 18. On a level 14 creature, my hit gets through, so I do 2 damage from my sword. And 2 damage is 2 clicks anti-clockwise. 1, 2, she's down to 2 health. Okay, we're doing alright. Roll again. A 16. That's another hit. 2 damage. We've killed the Widowmaker. And every creature you kill from the night deck goes into a discard pile. But we're not done quite yet, because for killing the Widowmaker, we get 1 loot. And 1 loot means drawing a card from the day deck. And let's see what we get. An Iron Shield. Excellent. Now this goes in our hand. The next player has their night phase. So the second player just draws a card from the night deck. And that's an interesting one. He's drawn a creature. And why it's interesting is because it's got this icon here in the top left. Let's take a closer look. This stone golem has an AS icon here, and that stands for All Slay. What that means is that we have to join up as a team to fight the stone golem. Now this hunter has Death Mace, which gives him +2 to his attack, and it also does 2 damage. And the stone golem has a level 16. Let's roll. We're looking for 14 or above. Alright, that's a 16. And there's a special rule when you're doing battle and you roll with the die an unmodified value equal to the level. So we rolled a 16 here for a level 16 monster. But that's a critical hit, and that's instant death for the stone golem. So we didn't get to have a crack at this stone golem, even though it was an all slay. But I'll show you maybe when the next one comes up. Our opponent won't be so lucky. Back to the day phase now. So we get to draw another card. And we just get an action card. But at this point I could, if I wished, upgrade my shield. And I think I'll do that. So to upgrade your shield, you simply replace the one that's equipped with a new one. If the one you're replacing is not damaged, it goes back to your hand. If it's damaged in any way, then it's discarded. So we'll discard this wooden shield. And like the night deck, the day deck also has a discard pile. Our opponent's taken their day phase, so now we move into the night phase, and once more I draw a card from the night deck. And this time we get some text. And it reads simply, "No encounter this night." We haven't found the Vampire Lord yet. Our opponent passed through the night unscathed, so now it's back to the day phase, and we get to draw a card. And we get our first vampire slaying item. Okay, that's pretty good. Remember, we got to try and collect one of each of the 4 vampire slaying weapons. But it does obviously take a spot in your hand. You've got a hand limit of 8 cards. If you ever draw beyond 8, then you have to discard back down to 8. Alright, I've got nothing I want to play right now, so let's move into our opponent's day phase and then back to us for the next night card. And we get, here's the Vampire Lord. He's turned up already and we're not ready for him. Okay, we've got 2 choices now. We're not ready for the Vampire Lord because we don't have one of each of the vampire slaying cards. We have one. Now we could play this now if we wished. It says it can be discarded to repel a vampire encounter. So we could discard our hammer and stake, repel this vampire and carry on safely through to the next day. Or we could choose to keep hold of this and suffer the consequences of not being able to slay the vampire just yet. And I think that's what I'm going to do. And this is when we become infected. We flip our hunter card and we become a vampire. And the vampire lord slinks back to the forest. And hopefully we'll find him another day when we're better equipped. Okay, now it's back with us, and we've got a choice now as we move into the next day. We could, if we wished, skip it and just head into the night. Or we can face the day and play our day phase as normal. But if we choose to do that, we're going to take one hit from the sun damage. I'm quite happy to do that, I think, so let's do that. Let's head into the day. And because we're infected, we have to take one wound from sun damage. You can't put this on any of your armour or shields. This is obligatory damage to your hunter. But at least I get to draw a card, and hopefully it will be another vampire slaying weapon. No, it's a health potion. And that's not very helpful because health can only be used by the non-infected. So I can't, it says health +2, but I can't boost up my vampire hunter's health. Only non-infected. Okay, let's head into the next night. Our opponent upgraded their armour during their day. Let's see what we get for this night. Oh, it is a Snake Queen. And she's level 12. But the good news is she does have loot. And we can feed as well if we kill her. And this is a good way for vampires if they don't want to face the day and take the sun damage. The only way to get cards from the day deck is through loot. So we're looking for 12 and we got +3 with our sword. That's a 15, that's a hit. So 2 clicks anti-clockwise takes the Snake Queen down to 2 health. Let's roll again. That's an 18, alright. Snake Queen is history. So we're going to take our loot, and the other thing we're going to do is take our feed. This is when vampires feed, and I'm a vampire, and it's feed 1. And that's a great way for vampires to heal. Feed 1 restores 1 health to an infected hunter. And of course I get my 1 loot as well. Let's see what we get. Oh yeah! Garlic. Alright. We are 2 out of 4 on our way. That's pretty good. So we've got the hammer and stake and the garlic. Our opponent's night phase now. Alright, the bad news is they drew another boar slay. This time an orc general, and he's a little bit stronger. He's level 15. So it's our opponent's turn to roll the dice first. And remember, he's got +2 from his death mace. Oh, that's too short. But he does have a +2 attack action card in his hand, so that gives him 12 +2 +2, 16, which is enough to hit the orc general. 2 damage. 1, 2 damage from his death mace. This gets discarded now though. Now it's our turn to roll, because it's an all slay. We take turns. Okay, let's see what we get. Remember, the orc general is level 15. So I need a 12 or more. Oh, it's a 3. That's not good news. But I do have this dodge card, and dodge says you can play this to dodge the attack of an enemy creature if after your die roll you roll a miss. So I'm going to play and discard this dodge. Discard this. It's back to our opponent, and he's looking for 13. Ah, it's only a 10. He's missed, and he doesn't have any shield or armour, so that's a hit. Okay, back to us now. Let's see what we do. Remember, we're looking for 15. A 20. That is an undisputed hit. Great job. We do 2 hits to this Orc General, and he's out of here. And that's pretty annoying for our opponent too, because although it was their creature that they drew, we get the loot. There's this other icon over here which is the party symbol, and what that means is, and sometimes they could appear here on loot and or here on feed as well, but what that means is the person who struck the killing blow takes 1 loot here. Everybody in the party who was battling, so that's anyone who rolled a dice, at least 1 dice during the battle, will get 1 feed. So our opponent would get 1 food, but he's not infected anyway, so that does nothing for him. But we get our 1 loot, and we draw a battle axe. And that's interesting as we move into our day. We got 6 cards. Yep, we got to draw first. And we draw another weapon. This is a Death Blade. That looks pretty good. That has attack 4, damage 2. I definitely didn't want to think about replacing my weapon. I've got a couple of choices here. So I've got this Battle Axe and this Death Blade. Well, that's definitely better than my Paladin's Sword, so I'm going to put that in for sure to start with. This goes back to my hand. You'll notice this is a 2-handed weapon, and if you equip a 2-handed weapon, then you immediately have to drop your shield, so that will go back to your hand. And I kind of like my shield at the moment. It's a good one. 4 straight. So yeah, I'm going to put this back in my hand. My opponent's day phase now, and he's chosen to do something interesting. You can, as long as you're not infected, it's only the non-infected that can do this, you can choose to skip your day phase and instead rest and take 1 health point of healing. So he's chosen to do that. Now we head into the next night. Let's see what we get. I hope it's not the vampire just yet. No, it's a bump in the night. Blind swap 1 card from my hand with 1 card from the hand of a player of choice. Oh, okay. Alright, well, playing 2-player, you've only got 1 choice, but if you had, if you're playing 3 or 4 players now, you'd obviously have a choice about which player you'd swap 1 card from, and ideally what you're trying to do is pick a player who you think is giving hints away that they might have more of the vampire slaying weapons, and with the view of stealing those from them. Alright, but I'm playing 2 players, so I've only got 1 opponent. And I'm going to let them randomly choose one of my cards. And I've lost the health +2. But in return, I picked a flea card from them. I'm up to 7 cards. Okay, our opponent made it through against the skeleton card, but they did take a couple of hits and burn their health up. And at the same time, now we head into the next day, and I thought about maybe skipping, but no, I'm going to take the sun damage and play out this day. Let's see what we get. I'm hoping for weapons. Yes! Okay, we got the cross, which gives us 3 out of 4. Pretty good. There are quite a few of these in the day deck. I'm doing alright at the moment. How many cards have I got? 8. Okay, I'm still okay for hands. And no, I don't want to play anything new during this day. So hand on to my opponent. So we're back for my night now. Let's draw a night card. We get... ooh. This one's good. All vampires feed, +1 health. And yes, I am a vampire. So we get some lovely blood. Excellent, back to full health. Back to my day phase. I've got 8 cards. I'm going to skip my day for now, in the hope that, you know, maybe I'll get some loot. Let's see what we get. Not another vampire. Hopefully we won't. Lose weapon. You must discard any weapon that is currently equipped. Okay, so we lose our death blade. That's not too bad actually, because I've got plenty more in my hand, but I have to wait for the next day. Right, my opponent got lost in the woods, and that says lose next turn, so they're going to miss their next day turn rather, so they're going to lose their day phase. And I'm going to take my day phase, but I've got to take my sun damage, because I want to equip another weapon, and I can only do that during the day. Let's draw a card. We get an attack +2. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I've got 9 cards. So I don't have to discard, because as long as I use one of these cards, I'm back down to 8. So I'm going to... I've got my Paladin sword again, or my battle axe. Because I'm infected, I quite fancy killing lots of stuff. Let's put the battle axe in. That'll be fun. Of course, that means the shield has to go back to my hand. I know, I hadn't planned that well. Now I've got 9 cards again. Let's discard. Let's get rid of this sword. I'm not that bothered about this sword. Okay. Right. My opponent's skipping there, so we move straight into the night phase. Let's see what we get. A wolf pack. They've only got level 9. So I'm hoping I'll take them out in one hit. That's a 4. Thing is, with that 4 +1 is 5. Yeah, I forgot. I get attack +3 because I'm a vampire, don't I? So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's still not quite enough, but I can play this attack bonus, attack +2. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The wolves are dead, and they give me 1 loot and 1 feed. Lovely wolf blood. Back up to full health. And my loot is antidote. Turns an infected hunter back to human form. Okay, we're on the next day. and I do want to try and get got 3 out of the 4. Unfortunately, my opponent encountered some thieves during the night and lost a card from their hand, and they lost one of these items, holy water. Okay, now I'm going to play this antidote, but first I take 1 piece of sun damage to move into the day. Then I draw my day card, which is crappy old wooden shield. Okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8 cards. All right. I can't put a shield in because I'm still holding the 2-handed weapon. All right, I'm going to play my antidote, I think. So I'll discard this. I was quite enjoying being a vampire, but I think this is better. I've got to get those items. I think once you've got all the items, you're better off staying a vampire because you've the attack bonus. Because you don't need the day. Once you've got all the items, avoid the day. You don't need the day anymore. But for now, I need to keep finding vampire slaying weapons. So, turns an infected hunter back to human form. So we turn back over and we always get restored back to full health. Okay, things have moved on a little bit now, and I've just drawn this card, and it's called Scavenger, and it says loot the discard pile for 1 card of your choice. I'm in the day and I'm about to play this card. And the reason why I'm excited about that is because it means, so I can grab this holy water, and now I've got all 4 items. I'm just waiting for that vampire to come out. Okay, everyone's doing fine. Now it's my night phase. Still looking for the... Oh, yes! Okay. That's it. That's it, folks. That's game over. Yes! There's our vampire lord that we've been looking for. There we go then. So, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 vampire slaying weapons, and that is victory. There we go. Whew, quite a duel. Well, we were victorious. I hope you've kind of followed along. I'm trying to keep this down to a single episode and just really give you a flavour of what this Hunters Guild Vampire Forest is all about. Head over to Kickstarter. You haven't got much time left, but it's definitely worth checking out. It's a good, easy to follow card game with very little needed. Setup time is shuffle a couple of decks and you're off and running. And like I say, it's great fun. Not having to worry about hit point counters, and also when you get to be a vampire yourself. Awesome stuff. That's it for now. See you next time.